Sir, it is worthwhile to take a step back and see where we are as a jurisdiction today in securing the online commons for our people and where we will be if we pass OSRA today. It was opportune that we debated and passed the Criminal Law Miscellaneous Amendments Act yesterday. That bill provided enhanced penalties under our criminal laws for many of the same online harms that are the subject of this bill. Online harms such as image abuse, circulation of obscene materials, including child abuse materials, AI-generated images, doxing, and so on. Previously, Parliament had also passed other acts, like the Online Criminal Harms Act, to deal with online scams, hate speech, and so on. In other words, we have been keeping our criminal laws up to date and fit for purpose. And these updated laws provide our people the assurance of statutory retribution for online harms. Operating alongside our criminal laws, OSRA, before us today, will provide statutory relief, including injunctive relief, and statutory torts and civil remedies for online harms. Taken together, this body of laws, while providing justice to our people experiencing online harms, can also help deter online harmful actors, thus further protecting our people in the online commons. I will say that on the whole, the government has done a tremendous job architecting our laws to protect and secure the online commons for our people in a very thoughtful, thorough, yet calibrated and pragmatic manner. This is an important thought because after OSRA is passed today, if it is passed, the focus will increasingly turn towards the enforcement of these laws, the implementation of policy, and the painstaking work of building up organizations, capabilities, and practice to deliver on the intended legislative and policy outcomes. Implementation is policy, and the focus will turn towards implementation. And Minister Josephine alluded to this in her speech as well. And so the point I wish to make is this, that in implementation, let us have trust that the government will go about this implementation in the same thoughtful, thorough, yet calibrated and pragmatic way as it had architected our laws for the online commons. Now, being a later speaker in this debate, I've had the privilege to hear many colleagues who spoke earlier. Most called for sufficient resourcing of the Online Safety Commission to handle workload and do its job. And most also called for clear service levels, time taken between reporting and relief, to give Singaporeans certainty and assurance of the relief they can expect when they report to the Online Safety Commission. Now, I understand where colleagues are coming from. Speed of relief is indeed so crucial for victims of online harm. And this bill, which provides for the establishment of a dedicated agency to deliver such relief to victims of online harm, could not have come soon enough. And so our natural instincts will be to say, let's get the relief out to the victims who need it today, who needed it yesterday. Let's get this relief out quickly. But the reality is that building up an organization, building up capabilities, especially fast cycle capabilities, takes time. We cannot rush the building of fast cycle capabilities, paradoxically. So I hope all of us, including and perhaps starting from this House, can give the government the time and space needed to build up the Online Safety Commission properly so that it can deliver the quick, effective, on-point relief that we ultimately are all seeking out for victims, present and future. On workload and resourcing of the Online Safety Commission, my thoughts are as follows. MDDI's survey has found that 1/3 of respondents experienced online harm in the past year. Now we have more than 3 million Singaporeans alone in our population. And so if the MDDI survey is representative of the general population, we could well be looking at hundreds of thousands of potentially reportable online harms every year. How might we be able to resource the Online Safety Commission to deal with a potential workload like this? I'm going to posit that we may never be able to resource it enough. Because fundamentally, there will be, to a large degree, what we call supply-induced demand for the Online Safety Commission's services. Meaning the more services the Online Safety Commission supplies, the more demand it may actually induce. And therefore, demand will likely keep running ahead of supply. And so beyond doing our level best to resource the Online Safety Commission to keep up with demand, the central task of implementation, in my mind, is to keep the gap between supply by the Online Safety Commission and demand for the Online Safety Commission tight. This means we must also find a way to manage demand, to manage expectations, manage our expectations on the Online Safety Commission. On service levels, report to relief times, and having clear guidelines and standards at the outset, especially given the Australians' experience with operationalizing their e-safety commission, I myself have thought about this issue a fair bit. And I've come to the conclusion that it may be better for us to not impose definitive performance guidelines on the Online Safety Commission at this stage, as we are building it up. Rather, I say, let us give time and space for the Online Safety Commission to establish a baseline, to establish its rhythm, and give time and space for supply and demand to find an equilibrium, and most importantly, give time and space for all of us to go through the necessary discovery process on relief standards collectively as a society. And then we can look to codify these service levels and standards at the right time. Because as Minister alluded to, we have very few precedents to refer to, and the Online Safety Commission has to pretty much create its own playbook. So the best way to set the Online Safety Commission up for success, borrowing honourable members, Mr. Sharul Taha's words, the best way to set it up for success is to give it the time and space to build itself up properly. In the meantime, like I said, let's trust that the government will go about implementing the Online Safety Commission with the same verve and in the same thoughtful, thorough, yet calibrated and pragmatic manner that it has architected our laws to secure the online commons. Sir, I support the bill.